Hello there! Today I'll be going through my recommended cards slash loadouts to take on the new character, Moji and Friends. So these are my own recommendations, and of course it's only early days since the character's release, so I'm sure the best options, air quotes, will probably change over time. The card you want to take will depend on your playstyle with Moji, and for that I feel like there's two main options that you can go for. You either want to go defensive or slightly tanky so you can sit around the point and payload with your tank, or you can build yourself to be a full-time 1v1 flanker that's constantly sitting on the side of maps and taking out the opposing flankers. All of Moji's legendary cards change Moji's playstyle quite a lot. In my opinion, Moji has two pretty good cards and two pretty meh sort of cards. My personal favourite card to use, and the one that I would recommend, would be Boom Boom, which gives blast damage on your attacks essentially. This allows you to do the max amount of DPS possible on your character, but is not the card that you'd use if you want to go for your full 1v1ing build. But Boom Boom works better if you play around your team and assist close to the point itself, since otherwise you're not gonna find enemies close enough together to get any value out of the card. In fact, if the enemies sit anywhere even close to one another, it is basically a death sentence for them. Meaning that Moji is very good at lower rankings, since everyone just sort of, sits on the point like headless chickens and lets themselves get blown up. At higher rankings though, you have to be a lot more strategic to make the card work, but it is incredibly good in overtime point fights. However, if you're going for a 1v1 flank build, then you should be going Yummy. To make this card work though, you actually have to hit your ult consistently, which, I'll be honest, I personally find Moji's ult to be one of the hardest to hit in the game. But if you use your ult at the beginning of your 1v1s against other flanks or DPS, you'll end up winning more often than not, since they'll get turned into some weird cartoon dog biscuit and can't do anything but move. If you really learn how to aim your ult properly, this card can be extremely good for carrying games with. If the enemies group up, however, and stop taking 1v1s against you at any point, it becomes a lot harder to make Yummy worth it. So on to the two meh cards, as I called them. Snack Attack is basically the card you take if you want to go with the same playstyle as with Yummy, but you can't hit your ult very well. If you just got better at hitting your ult, you might as well just not take this card, honestly. And finally, Toot is a utility-based card, and let's be honest, in solo queue and casual games, it is near impossible to coordinate a team. It doesn't help you carry as well as the other cards do, and the requirement of coordination to make use of it means that I don't really feel it's as useful as the other cards can be. So now on to loadouts. The loadout you want depends entirely on your playstyle with Moji as well. For a tanky build, which is my personal preference, I pack on all the healing cards that I can get. So Cozy, Harmonious, and Scurry give flat health when you use them. And since you're playing a little bit more defensively, I tend to take Symbiotic too, so then I can stay alive around the points a little bit easier. I do also take Glimmer as my final card, since this gets me out of a lot of pinches purely due to having increased move speed when getting out. You could also replace Glimmer with Shimmering if you just want your shield up as much as possible. However, if you don't trust your healer, that they're actually going to bother healing you I should say, then instead of Symbiotic you can take something like Dense Woods or Boop as a replacement. My second suggestion for a full flank heavy 1v1ing sort of loadout, Greater Good gives you 16% lifesteal, Boop for reveal against enemies, Fluffy for a little bit of extra health, Cozy just to keep you alive a little bit longer, and Nature's Blessing or Morning Breath can both work in the last slot. But Nature's Blessing is better with the Yummy or Snack Attack legendary cards since it increases your ult charge rate. Of course, I'd always make a couple of loadout pages with slight differences in them for certain matchups. For example, taking Will-o'-the-Wisp for the crowd control against certain characters like, I don't know, Pips, Bomb Kings, can work really well. Although your shield ability does nullify all CC when you use it, so if you use it at the right times, CC won't matter quite as much anyway. So those are all of my personal recommendations after playing about 20 games of Moji so far, maybe a few more. Of course, these are just my own opinion, so let me know if you try these out and how it works for you, or any changes you'd personally make to any pages, and, you know, give me the reason why. So far, Moji is feeling much stronger than they did on the PTS. That's probably because there's nowhere near as much lag on live servers, but I have been having fun with it, and Moji does pretty crazy damage with that Boom Boom legendary card. I almost always find myself top damaging or very close to it. Although it's kind of hard for me to tell whether that's down to Moji or whether it's just me playing better than the other guys in the games I've been getting. And I'm not saying that in a gloaty sort of way. Most guys in casual games just aren't that great, honestly, since they either don't care, they don't take the game seriously, or they've never ranked above Diamond, so whatever. I hope that helped you out, or helped you make a little bit more sense out of some of the options you have on this character. For now, I'll leave you with the rest of one of my games today. I'm not fully comfortable with Moji still, so hey, expect to see some pretty dumb mistakes.
Killing spree. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Victory. Successful. Good game. Good game.
Let's make this interesting!